Rise of Kingdoms finally revealed the skills for Yahya ibn Khalid, but do they have any plans on releasing a special KvK story commander? That's the question that we're going to answer in today's video, because that is one of the #1 things I heard yesterday after the patch notes. People were saying, hey, does that mean we're not getting a new Archer for the special KvK story? Is this upcoming KvK story even a special key story to begin with, or is there going to be another KvK story later this year in 2026? Those are the questions we're going to answer in today's video. But first, what's going on, guys? Cheers. Now, as you guys know, I am a partner creator with Rise of Kingdoms, so if you want more Rise of Kingdoms content, subscribe down below and leave a like. It actually helps out the channel a ton, way more than you think. And with that being said, let's jump into the skill reveal first for this brand new legendary gathering commander, Yahya ibn Khalid. Now, this is I mean, this commander was revealed back with Vercingetorix, and I just feel like everyone was like, oh, another gatherer, and then completely forgot that he existed, right? Nobody cared at all. And look, for good reason, kind of. After seeing the expertise in this commander, I was like, oh, so he was so close. Oh, he was so close. But anyway, it's actually kind of funny because over on social media, you see they use the mind blown emoji, and I'm just wondering, like, and I don't mean to be rude or anything, like I really don't, but like, I'm not sure anyone had that response in reality. Anyway, we have an integration, gathering, and mobility commander. Okay, so mobility and gathering, pretty cool stuff. I mean, time is money when it comes to gathering, right? Going to and from the nodes, that matters. The faster you get there, the better. So okay, I guess that's interesting. All right, active skill, single target, rage requirement of 1,000, up to 5 nearby allied or friendly troops, including this commander's troop, gain 15% health for 3 seconds. The target troop loses 20% defense for 5 seconds. So this is purely buff and debuff. There is nothing else going on here. No damage factor at all. It's just everyone around you gets health and the enemy loses 20% defense, and that is it, folks. So maybe there's going to be an opportunity to use this commander in something like an early game Sunset Canyon lineup, or to sort of buff your army during Arms Master Lohar or something. Like, maybe there'll be some super niche uses for this, but with no damage here at all. I just, there's not much to love here. Now, on top of that, it is worth noting that I'm almost certain that this commander is going to be in the gold keys eventually. I don't know if there's going to be some other event to get him on day one, or if he's going to be, you know, an event commander first and then in the gold keys, or if he's just going to go right to the gold keys. That information was not revealed here, so we don't know for sure. VIP support might be saying one thing, so maybe we know, maybe we don't. But with that being said, if this commander will be available in KvK1, that would explain why this active skill is so bad. Moving on to the second skill, Empires, Lost Treasures. This commander's troop gains 35% gathering speed when gathering gold, and 20% gathering speed when gathering wood, stone, or food. Okay, so he's officially the fastest gold gathering speed commander in the game, I believe, because Seong-Gye is 30% and Casimir is 30%. Okay, so but the difference here is that Seong-Gye and Casimir gain 20% gathering speed, and that is across the board. So that includes gems, right? That includes caravans from Ark of Osiris. This fella over here gains more gathering speed for gold, but 0 gathering speed for gems, 0 gathering speed for the caravans. So little bit of a nuance there. Okay, but if you were looking for objectively the fastest gold gathering speed commander, we've got a new winner here. So that is exciting, I suppose. I mean, if that's what you needed, more gold gathering speed, okay, fantastic. You've got the new best in slot. Okay, next up, Age of Translation. This commander's troop gains 50% load. All right, so that's fine. Load is basically never an issue in the end game, so that doesn't really move the needle. Fourth skill says this commander's siege units gain 15% march speed when gathering at a resource point. This commander's siege units gain 50% defense, and this commander's troop gains 15% march speed for 10 seconds after leaving a resource point. Okay, so you're gonna get 15% march speed there, and then you're gonna get 30% march speed when you leave for 10 seconds, then it's back down to 15. I mean, we would expect a mobility commander commander to have march speed, and really I think this is the only gathering commander with march speed, at least of the legendary tier. I'm looking through all the legendary gatherers right now, and I don't think any of them have march speed, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm looking through right now, there's none. Okay, so there might be march speed on like one of the purples, blues, or greens, but there's none on the legendary gatherers, so that makes him unique in that way as well. Also, if I suppose there's going to be a KvK where you've got bastion skills, if this commander is a bastion commander, then your ranged players may be able to get their hands on some extra march speed here, which is cool. Also, they'll be able to get some march speed leaving a resource point, so maybe there's a little bit of usage there. But as you can see, I'm really having to stretch to figure out how these things are actually useful. But at the end of the day, like I said, time is money, and so the faster you get there, the faster you get home, the quicker you can send out troops to gather again. So that is pretty cool. The expertise says if this commander's troop gathers all resources from a resource point, you will receive additional resource items. Okay, so this is just like Cleopatra, this is just like Casimir. So unfortunately, we do not have the expertise that gives you an additional 10% resources. That is what I was expecting here, or I mean, that would have made the most sense if, I don't know, like that was like the one thing that made Casimir fall short, is that his expertise was not best in slot, right? And so even with Casimir being a legendary gold gathering commander, people almost never send him to the Alliance resource pit because he doesn't have Pepin's expertise, right? Pepin gives you 10% more resources, so okay, you lose 10% gathering speed for gold, but you gain 10% bonus resources. That trade-off is worth it every single time, right? So if they were going to go through and add a new gold gathering commander after just releasing Casimir like not even a year ago, right, you would think that it would solve that the only problem that exists. The only problem that exists with Casimir is that, and he does not solve that. So it is what it is. We've got basically another Casimir who has 5% more gold gathering speed, but 0 gathering speed for things like gems. Okay, so that is the main difference there. Casimir better at gathering gems, Yahya better at gathering gold. Everything else pretty much the same. Yahya is a little faster, right? So that's pretty much it. All in all, sort of underwhelming in my opinion. Again, more gathering commanders is good from the sense that, you know, we always need more resources, but is this what everyone was like needing, right? It's like I don't know, probably not. So then the question becomes, are we getting special KvK story commanders in 2026, right? I mean, this is the question that lots of players were asking, like I said, when we saw the patch notes yesterday, and the answer, I think, and let me just be clear, I have no idea, right? I think that the special key KvK story of 2026 is not coming yet, and by that I mean the Mighty Assembly Pioneer KvK I don't think is the special key KvK story of 2026. Now let's just set some groundwork here. Okay, why does the community even think that we might get a new Archer commander alongside a new KvK? Okay, well, a couple of years ago when the King of All Britain event came out, we got Ragnar Prime, and the developers kind of went on record saying like, look, we are planning on releasing a key special KvK story every year, right? That was kind of what their goal was, and we saw that they obviously achieved that in 2023. I think was Siege of Orleans, 2024 was King of All Britain, 2025 was Song of Troy, and so now in 2026 we have yet to see a key KvK story, right? A special story, and so the community is kind of like waiting to see what that's going to be, right? And like I said before, we saw a new commander introduced with King of All Britain, which was Ragnar Prime. That's an infantry commander. Then with last year we saw Song of Troy, and we saw them release 2 commanders. We saw them release a cavalry commander in the form of Achilles, and then we saw them release a leadership commander, which is basically a cavalry commander, and that was Hector. Right now I know Hector also can be used in other places, also in garrison, right? So he's got more uses than that, but he kind of was just a cav commander, if we're being honest. But anyway, that's where the community is at, right? And so we see 1 infantry, 1 cavalry. The expectation would be 1 archer, right? And so when we saw this yesterday, that they announced a new Season of Conquest story, story, people were kind of like, ooh, is that the new story, right? Is that the key story? Is that the one that might have a special Archer commander? And the more that I thought about it, the more I realized that almost certainly this is not the special key KvK story for 2026. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying it probably isn't. And the reason that I think it probably isn't is because if you look at how the developers revealed the key story for 2024 and 2025, they made a big deal about it, right? They made a big deal with Ragnar Prime launch. They made a big deal about Achilles launch. They revealed both of those things at an in-person meetup. I don't know if you guys remember that, but Ragnar Prime was first revealed to the community at an in-person meetup. The Song of Troy KvK with Achilles and Hector was revealed at an in-person meetup. Now, they showed the silhouettes of the commanders. They did not tell us everything about the commanders, but it was first revealed at in-person meetups, right? So if we think about 2026 and it's like, okay, well, it would be a bit bizarre for them to, you know, spend basically all year creating this key KvK story and then just dropping it as a line item in the patch notes like halfway down, right? It would just be a big departure for what they've done and the effort they've put in to key stories in the past, right? So that's why I think the Mighty Assembly KvK is a new Season of Conquest story, but it's not the special key KvK story that all of us have been kind of wondering about, right? We're wondering like, when is it coming? What's it going to be? What's the theme of it going to be? And then also, is it going to have off-season Archer release, right? That's kind of like the big thing, is like Archer players are like kind of looking to that for another new meta commander, basically, like we kind of saw with Achilles and like we saw with Ragnar Prime. And I think that it is a reasonable expectation to have that, to expect that, but it's not guaranteed. Okay, so I just want to remind you guys that they don't have to release an off-season Archer commander this year. I mean, there's no they never said they would do that, right? So keep that in mind. It's also the case that maybe they'll add just a leadership commander there, and it might happen to work well with archers more than anything else because it'll be skill damage or something. So just keep that in mind, right? We don't actually know if it's coming, but I don't think the Mighty Assembly Pioneer KvK is the new, you know, special key story for 2026. The other reason that I feel that way is because if we look at well, let's just look at Ragnar Prime. When did I get him? I got him at the sort of halfway through November, and then if we look at Achilles, I got him at the beginning of November. Okay, so both these commanders landed in November. I think technically Achilles was revealed at the end of October, but either way, both these commanders landed essentially in November. And what that means is, you know, this KvK story, this Pioneer KvK, is landing in the game at the end of July, right? And so that's a bit early. It's about a quarter early. It's about 3 months early, right? So I think this is the KvK story for Q3, okay, and then Q4, the last part of the year, right, as we go into holiday season, as we go into Thanksgiving and Christmas, which is, you know, one of the biggest times of years for all gaming, right? I mean, just video games across the board see a big surge in popularity, marketing as well, of course, because of the time of year. I think it would make sense that the biggest things for the game would be planned for that time of year. And so I would expect, if we are going to see a special key Pioneer KvK story for 2026, it probably won't be until, you know, we won't hear about it until probably October or November, right? Or on top of that, the end of September is the anniversary for Rise of Kingdoms, right? And so maybe they'll tie it in with that as well. Although we also have the cavalry, new cavalry commanders should be releasing in October, and perhaps they will tease that at the end of September with the anniversary event for Rise of Kingdoms. So there's a lot of things coming down the pipeline where we kind of have to see like, okay, where do they fit in to where each event or each reveal, release, whatever, should have its own breathing room, right? Like, you know, if they're going to drop new cavalry, they're going to want that to have its moment, right? They want the player base to be like, oh my god, new calves, right? And then have that moment. And then once enough time has passed, you know, a couple of weeks, then they might reveal the new special KvK story, or however they want to do that. Maybe they can flip those around. I'm not really sure. They reveal maybe the new KvK first, then new calves after, not sure, but I think we'll probably see new calves first, then the new special KvK story after that. I suspect maybe it'll be teased in October, right? And then it won't come until November. Maybe that's the case. So lots of, you know, moving parts here when it comes to the timeline, but I just wanted to cover this in this video because the more I thought about it yesterday, the more I realized that this almost certainly is not the special key KvK story for this year, if there's going to be one, right? Which again, the developers said that they plan on having one every year, but you know, not everything goes according to plan, right? And we don't have insight behind the scenes if it's still happening or if it's not happening. We don't know. We will find out within the next couple of months. But like I said, I don't think that this is going to be the key story for 2026 the more that I think about it. And so when you look at this new gold gathering commander, I don't think you have to look at it with despair and say, oh my god, he's the new commander, like it's over, he's the KvK commander, we're cooked, we're not getting archers. He's not. He's a season 1 gathering commander. He's going to be part of, you know, the gold keys eventually, most likely, right? So I would not worry about that at all. The odds are that archer players still have as much of a probability of getting a new commander this year as they did just, you know, 2 days ago before we knew about this upcoming KvK. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I think we just have to wait a little bit longer to hear more about whatever the key story is and if we will see a new archer or leadership commander with that. But until then, we've got this new gathering commander coming in just a week, and then after that we're going to be in August. I don't expect much to come out of August, but I do expect to see new calves at the end of September maybe, or early October. So there will be lots of things to look forward to soon. I guess August is going to be the month where people work on Pincer 2, right? Oh my god, the cat. What's the cat doing? Tiger has the zoomies as I'm trying to record, but she's being very cute this morning, but she just wants to kill all the birds outside the window. So Tiger said, you've got to like the video. It's her rules, not mine. Okay. And if you don't like the video, she's not gonna be able to catch the birds, and you want her to catch the birds, right? So, okay. Anyway, guys, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, make sure you drop a thumbs up on it. It really does help out the channel a ton. Double check down below. You might think you're subscribed, but you're actually not. And comment down below your thoughts on this new gold gathering commander, and what are your thoughts on the possibility of a new off-season special archer commander landing in 2026. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace.